I really find it hard being a fan of WWE to constantly watch the show and just get so pissed off at how bad it is. It's like it's growing bad. It's growing worse week from week. Well, it's only been like what 3 weeks from WrestleMania.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes, it hasn't been that long. It seems like the only good Raw they've had was the Raw after WrestleMania. And I don't know if it's because I had Brock Lesnar on it and he was like the highlight of the show with the brief moments he was on it. Or it's just like, maybe that show was pretty decent.
I mean, it was the beginning of new storylines, so maybe they had a direction, and now it just feels like they're filling time until the next pay-per-view.
Which always makes me wonder, like, I understand they have so many pay-per-views, and I do feel like, okay, I understand why they did it originally. It was a way to make money. Obviously, it's a way to make money.
Yeah.
But now that they have the WWE Network, and, they're still making money off of, goddamn. They're still making money off of
what? I don't want to murder this dog live on air. Hey, shut up!
Oh my god!
All right.
All right. So they're still making money off the pay-per-views. So I understand why they still have them around. But now that they're so focused on the WWE Network, isn't it time to kind of get rid of some of these pay-per-views?
I mean, this is their way of selling the network every month because it's a month-by-month subscription.
Yeah.
I guess they figure that the pay-per-views are their way of selling the network.
I think it's hurting the product in general. I mean, if you look at it, if they had like a few less pay-per-views where it didn't feel like, okay, we just had WrestleMania, 3 weeks later we jump into another pay-per-view. If they just had time to just really build up a storyline and just put more into the writing to have a bigger payoff at a pay-per-view, it would improve the product, tremendously. I get why they're doing it, because they're still making money off the pay-per-view buys. Also, it's the way of selling the network, but it just still feels like as part of like the story, it's just really, it's ridiculous to actually have that many shows throughout the year.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I still get it as far as like marketing for the network goes.
Yeah.
Like I said, because it's a month-to-month subscription. Like you want people to have a reason to stick around or have casual people join in for a pay-per-view because that would be your big selling point.
Yeah.
The idea that the $60 pay-per-view or however much it is. Having your own animal problems?
No, fucking cat. Our pets want to be on the fucking show today for some reason.
Yeah, well, they can't, goddammit.
Start their own fucking podcast.
And they could talk about the Pet Avengers.
Yeah.
So I like Lockjaw and Thor Frog. But I mean,
think it would bring up Crypto, even though it's not like a fucking Marvel character.
They can bring up all the lame fucking super pets, like Streaky the super cat.
Didn't like Lex Luthor have like a fucking snake?
Did he? That'd be
awesome. He
awesome.
had a snake. Like at least on the cartoon they had. He had like a little pet snake. But we're off subject. But
yeah, I mean,
unfortunately, even though we're on subject, that subject is actually more entertaining than Raw. Or even...
Yeah, oh man, it was a forgettable Raw, which is sad because it's a go-home show.
Yeah. It has to be by far the worst go-home show that they've done so far.
I mean, this year, definitely. Because it's the beginning of the year. But, I mean, I don't know. I can't think of a worse go-home show in, like, recent memory. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, I hate WWE. But it's true. Like, I can't remember a worse time where I felt less compelled to watch the pay-per-view.
In fact, I wasn't even aware it was this weekend until, like, the Raw itself. I was like, really? That's what you want me to watch? This is your way of selling me the pay-per-view? This is how you're going to get me to spend time watching this fucking show? This lineup with matches I really don't want to see. Name one match you actually really want to see at Extreme Rules.
Like, really? Like, legit actually want to watch?
Legit want to watch.
I would say maybe Ambrose, Harper.
Yeah, but it depends on how they handle the match. I mean, how they handled Ambrose and Harper so far has been awful, which we'll get to.
Yeah, I would say my only other one that I'm kind of holding on to, like that I'm having hope, is the tag match, the Kid and Cesaro versus New Day.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
I mean, neither am I, especially after Raw, which we'll get into. But I'm hoping that they'll prove everybody wrong.
Hoping. I mean, WWE has already made the tag team champions look like champs already. They've already lost to one person, the week before. So it's like they've done nothing with Cesaro, our kid, so far. So I just don't have hope that they're actually doing anything with him, or even do anything with New Day.
I mean, it's also a thing of you had fucking. I mean, we'll get into it, I guess. So maybe I should save that for later. But they definitely didn't make the number one contenders for the tag title look like they matter either.
Yeah. All right, let's start the show off. So we have Randy Orton coming to the ring and basically saying he's going to RKO the entire building.
Yeah.
as the night goes on to get his fill on RKOs.
He's going to start with the front row and end with the cheap seats.
Yeah, basically. So we've got Seth Rollins coming out and he talks a little shit to Randy, shit back, and that's basically the whole story.
Yeah, nothing new. It's the same shit you've been hearing, except this time it opens the show.
Yeah, I think it's before the first match actually happened. We're not going to spend a lot of time on the Orton promo because there really wasn't much of anything to spend time on, aside from the fact that it did kind of feel like he was phoning in. At first, it felt like he was phoning in his promo.
I mean, I feel like you've said everything that Orton said in his promo. I'm going to RKO everybody because I can't RKO you at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, passing out like candy or Halloween.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so we move on. First match, another pay-per-view match that's being given away for free. We have Ambrose versus Harper. Starts off pretty decent, and then Harper just fucking runs away.
Yeah, what the fuck was that? And the audience booed the shit out of him too.
It was such a dumb thing to do. He throws Ambrose off the stage, so he's basically on the offense, and then he just fucking runs.
I remember Ambrose gets back onto the stage, and he looks around like, I know there's supposed to be more happening, but when's it gonna start happening? And then they play his music like he's at the Oscars, like telling him to leave.
All right, you play Final Fantasy VII or any kind of like more recent Final Fantasy other than 13?
I've literally played 7, and I barely started playing 10 for the first time.
Yeah, I kind of made it far in 10 and then we beat it. I got the HD remix recently, but we're not talking about all that. What we're talking about is basically, remember when you're in the middle of a battle and then you get the chance to like escape and just turn around, just like, just fucking like, yeah, like Scooby-Doo run away. Or no, Flintstones went away with your feet or movie, just burn off.
I mean, they might as well have done that the way this shit ended.
Yeah, that's how it felt like. He was in the middle of an attack and he just ran off. And I was like, what?
And it's sad because like I'm like super behind both of these guys, like I say every week, because of the indies.
Yeah.
And their match like seemed very physical. Like they were just throwing punches and kind of just beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, this is a good sell for the pay-per-view. And then, like, when he throws him off the stage and Ambrose just kind of rolls, like, what the hell was that? Like, what was the point of that? And then he just walks away. Then it really felt like, what the hell was the point of this whole match then?
It didn't feel like a match. In fact, let's be honest, it really wasn't a match. I can't remember if the bell rung when they first started fighting, but the bell did. It did. So it did. Because I was confused. I was like, wait a minute. The bell didn't ring, at the end of the match. They just moved on to the next segment.
You could just hear Ambrose
moments. Go ahead. Yeah, God damn it.
See, this is
Yeah,
how bad it was, and we don't even know what to say about it. And like we usually have plenty to talk about, and it's just like I don't know.
we're fucking stumbling over each other to try to find things to say about this match. But yeah, it was a pretty decent match at first, and they just kind of turned into God knows what. He just threw him down off the stage and ran off for absolutely no reason, which doesn't fit his character at all.
No, I mean, okay. I will point out was that we got Harper on the mic finally.
That was pretty cool. I feel like he can do a lot of the mic, but they don't let him do it. In fact, there's one point in which he was cutting promos before Bray comes in.
Was he? I don't even remember that.
There was a little bit of time, like there was a short period of time which he'll say something, and it sounds really cool. Then they'll let Bray talk after him. Like he'll kind of start the video off, and then like after he kind of just went his own way, he did the whole "I'm a team player" thing, which seems pretty cool. They said basically fuck him, just let him job out to Ryback,
which is ridiculous. I mean, I feel like Vince McMahon has a hard on for like tall guys who look like they can kick the shit out of you. You know, whether they can or not in real life. I'm looking at you, great.
Yes.
And I feel like Harper looks like, you know, like the drug, like in the Indies, his gimmick was like a truck driver kind of guy.
Yeah.
So I feel like he has a look and he carries himself like somebody you wouldn't want to run a bar or something. But I mean, he does absolutely jack shit on Raw.
Now, let's be fair. I actually feel like it's not as much as Vince as is other people, mainly Triple H. I think Vince gets a lot of, he gets a lot of bullshit back for like stuff that Triple H does. I don't know where it ends, where it ends and begins, but I feel like they're both responsible for certain aspects of like WWE's failure, if you really want to be honest about it.
I mean, I'm sure. I'm not going to say that's not true, but just based on the history of the way Vince has like selected talent in the past is why I would say that.
Okay, so this match ended abruptly and there was no winner, I guess. It just kind of moved on. I'm assuming Ambrose won.
His music played last, so let's say he won.
Yeah, so I guess he won that one. And then we move on to Lucha Dragons versus the New Day. And this is actually a pretty decent match. I think New Day is actually showing how aggressive they can be. Once they're put in that situation, that they're doing that. And I think there was like what 2 botches during this match. Well, a botch during the match and a botch after the match, which we'll get to.
I don't remember the botch during the match. I would say that this match was okay. It was mostly everybody check out New Day kind of segment.
Yeah,
which is fine. And like the only thing the Lucha Dragons did that was like exciting or entertaining was the double moonsault off the turnbuckles.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know what's going on with Kalisto, but he kind of needs to do something new now. Like he seems to run through the same like 3 spots in every match we've seen so far.
Yeah, well, Kalisto did that one botch I was talking about earlier. I think it was on Kofi Kingston. I can't remember who exactly was on. I think it was him. We tried to go do some kind of rollover, like a roll up, and rolled him too far, so he kicked him in the head instead. Kind of play it off.
Well, that's a good way to play it.
This is a big deal, but you could kind of tell, like, okay, well, he didn't really mean for all that to happen from the roll all the way over to his feet. This is a big deal. Of course, the second botch, the one at the very end with the RKO.
Yeah. I mean, before we get into that, I guess I'll say about the match is I like heel New Day, like actually getting to do stuff. I've already said before, do the corner stomps, and they're tagging in and out real quick because, you only got to count at 5 till you have to stop.
Yeah.
So it's a nice bit of heel work I enjoy. I also like that Kalisto went to do some flippy shit, and Big E just caught him and was all like, nope, that shit ain't going to happen, son.
That was pretty cool, too. I feel like they could be like, basically, if you really want to compare it, the next Shield. I mean, it's a 3-man group. You have Dean Ambrose, regular version of Dean Ambrose. You have the Seth Rollins, which is Kofi, the high flyer. Yeah. Of course, you already know who Big E is.
Of course, he's Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
I mean,
The two Dean Ambroses and like one Seth Rollins.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I feel like they're a three-man team like the Shield, but the Shield had a different like feel and dynamic to them.
Yeah, but I mean, like as compared to dominance, what they could do if they were actually allowed to be dominant.
And I feel like because they have three men, like who always come out and they're always going to be like a three-man tag team, that they should let them do more heel shit. Like, let's say somebody's getting their ass whooped. Let's say Kofi Kingston. And then Xavier Woods like drags him out and tags like makes himself the new tag partner, so it's like a fresh man. I mean, they're heels. Why can't they just heel it up all the time
with them?
Yeah, which I'm fine with. If it gets the crowd back on their side, then fuck it, I'll take it.
Yeah, so I'm fine with it.
Because you already know for a while I've been like trying to get I'm one man vocally trying to get Biggie a goddamn like world championship.
All right, so they had a match 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah,
and they lost it, but it was okay. I mean, that was their first heel turn. It was like against the Lucha Dragons.
Yeah,
which I was like, why were we even having this match? The Lucha Dragons already beat them. It was to see who was going to be the number one contender. Number one contenders at the pay per view. But like, a Lucha Dragons already beat them, so why does this match even matter? But whatever. So 2 weeks ago, they lose to Lucha Dragons, and they did a heel promo before it, and you kind of see a slow turn, and they're a little bit more aggressive in that match. So this match, they're more aggressive, and of course they cheat to win. So they're really turning on the heat for them to be heels, right?
Yeah.
And then Randy Orton basically RKO'd the team after that. They just took away all that heat.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna get into. It's like you have fucking Randy Orton beat Kid and Cesaro by himself. And then you have them come out, and I guess they want to give the excuse that, well, they're heels, so bad things happen to heels. Or they've already wrestled a match, so maybe they're not fresh to fight them off. But it still doesn't fucking matter because you had Randy Orton basically beat your opening match on the pay-per-view by himself.
Yeah.
Because he beat Kid Cesaro, he beat New Day. At least Big E learned from fucking Harper and just kind of walked off.
It was Harper. Worked out for him.
But it's just like, you remember last week how I was saying that like I don't like face Randy Orton because they kind of book him super strong. Yeah. And I feel like we're kind of seeing the results of that. At least as far as the tag division goes.
Well, the thing about like WWE's booking is they don't know how to do anything subtle. It's all broad strokes. So anyone they book is going to be booked extremely strong. And that's the way they do things. It's pretty awful that Randy Orton's on the receiving end of that now, but isn't this?
I mean, it's this kind of shit that made me hate Randy Orton like so long ago. That now that he's face, I'm still like not really into him.
Well, I've always liked Randy Orton. Like there was a time which I didn't watch wrestling anymore, just like you stopped watching wrestling for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And when I stopped watching wrestling at the time, I think Randy Orton was the legend killer. And I was just glad they were focused on someone else besides Triple H at that moment.
Yeah, I had quit way before that. So, like, I didn't come, I came, but I didn't watch any Randy Orton matches until he was having his like best of 20 with John Cena is when I started watching again.
Yeah.
So that wasn't a great introduction to the character or anything.
When I came back to wrestling, they weren't really doing anything with him at all. And I think it's around the time he actually ended up with the champ.
Yeah.
Going into like him losing it eventually at WrestleMania to Daniel Bryan, him and Batista.
I would say that's a pretty bad time to watch based on the way they were booking all those pay-per-views.
Yeah, because at the time, they weren't really doing anything with him, but they really started doing stuff with him. Like he ended up with the belt. But he was one of those cowardly heels. And it was just ridiculous.
I mean, because like Bryan beat Cena at SummerSlam. He cashes in, which is, going to get you heat. We get our rematches. I think we got like 2 rematches. And each one of them ended in fucking shenanigans. One of them ended with Big Show interrupting. Like we were suddenly going to cheer the Big Show.
Yeah.
And that was around the time Big Show tried to steal the yes chant, if you remember that.
Yeah.
And it was just like they didn't want to take the title off of Randy Orton because, you know, they had booking in mind for fucking Batista being the face to come and like beat heel Orton.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they didn't know what to do with the title, so it was just like fuckery for a good long while.
All right, so basically Randy Orton basically beat the first match, like you said, at the pay-per-view. And then we moved on to Fandango versus Curtis Axel, which I never thought I'd ever see this, but it was a squash match in which Fandango squashed Curtis Axel.
Yeah, what the hell is that about?
It's like, all right. Oh, there was also a problem with. Let me bring this up. It was funny. When Fandango won, I don't know if you noticed that.
I think that's part of the gimmick now to get people to like want to hear the old Fandango song.
No, I mean they played a song first and then they played the old one.
Yeah, I think that's a gimmick to get people to be like, no, we want to hear the old theme. We want to do the old dance.
Oh, so I thought you think they did it on purpose? Because it sounded like it was a mistake. I mean, he came out first to his original song, and then when he won, they play his newer song, and they kind of phased it into the original.
Yeah, I think it, like I feel at least, that it's their way of getting him over by doing the old gimmick.
Maybe. I think they fucked up on that, on the audio.
Well, we'll see if they do it again next week.
Yeah. But yeah, basically not much to say about this match except Curtis Axel's game.
It was a strange squash match. I mean, you would think because Fandango's like been a nobody for a year now,
Yeah.
that it would at least be somewhat competitive through like to mid-card status.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know, maybe they think they can give him this win and automatically throw him in against like Stardust next, and we'll suddenly be like, oh, that's all right.
I guess. Like I said, broad strokes. That's the only way they know how to do things.
I mean, like if you want to think about broad strokes, like we got the
what are you doing over there?
Why? What happened?
that weird sound that was going on. Speaking of broad strokes, what are you doing?
I don't know. I think the computer just messed up.
Yeah.
Because if I was doing broad strokes, this call would have been over with like 20 minutes ago. But
right, so, yeah, go ahead.
like, I was just saying the way the like painting with broad strokes, like the Triple H promo that we got, like they brought up Kane and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just gonna say that the way they always book Kane and Big Show, like right after WrestleMania, to like face their new top heel or top like face.
Yeah.
That's like their broad strokes, like simple booking of like, you want to see how dominant this guy is?
You know what? Let's talk about that Triple H promo. First off, Fandango won, as Robbie said. Curtis Axel's being wasted, despite his gimmick somewhat being over with the crowd, even though they're trying their best to make sure it's not.
Yeah, I mean, like real quick, I feel like Curtis Axel needs to just be a funny heel.
He can easily be a funny heel, but they're not letting him be a funny heel.
And it's like the crowd seems like they want to get behind him, but there's only so long you can like fuck with the crowd's emotions before they just give up on him.
Yeah. All right, so Triple H comes out. He has news about Tough Enough. And
oh wait, this was the backstage promo, right?
What, backstage?
Yeah, because it was like before the Rollins match, I want to say, when he finally did his big like talking to Rollins and shit.
I thought it came out earlier in the day.
No, this backstage one was all the like, Kane's a problem and Tough Enough though.
Yeah, he had big news about Tough Enough, which ended up being a lot of nothing.
Yeah, a lot of who cares.
Yeah. All right, moving on for that promo because I can barely fucking remember it because it's so forgettable.
It's pretty much like, hey, we can't trust Kane and Tough Enough.
Trust him. Let's stay away from him.
And watch Tough Enough in June.
Yeah, watch Tough Enough and Who Wants to Be a Diva, or whatever the fuck the name of the show is. Which is basically the same fucking show, if you really think about it.
Yeah. Even though Tough Enough has women on it.
Yeah, it was like five women, 10 guys.
I think like some of the first one, like I think the second season, I looked. It was live, and then they kind of went back and forth after that. They kind of mixed it in.
I mean, it's basically the same show. You really think about it. They have two shows in which they're trying to find next superstars to join WWE, and they're completely separate and all that. While they have a show that's on TV, NXT, which is like their developmental show, and it's like, all right, Tough Enough worked back then. Well, now you have NXT. Is anyone really going to watch Tough Enough?
I don't even know, because last season of Tough Enough, like apparently, I was sort of watching WWE here and there, and I remember they had like the two people who might win come out, and they both got like pedigreed, and the guy who won like kind of stood around backstage and then was fired.
I mean, let's be honest. Aside from the Miz and maybe Maven at one point, they've done nothing with anybody for Tough Enough that I know of.
Well, you're missing one very important guy in all that.
Who's that?
John Morrison.
Oh, yes. But was he working the Indies already?
No, apparently, well, according to the show and what I've read, like he was just like a fan. He was a guy who was in shape and decided to give it a try.
Holy shit, he was like, the stuff he's able to do is ridiculous.
I know. I loved his like John Morrison gimmick of like coming out and the sparks and the slow motion and shit.
No, he couldn't have been like just some dude.
No, I don't want to believe it.
No, was he Johnny Nitro?
Yeah, that's when he finally came into the company.
No, I know he worked somewhere else before he went to WWE. I want to say he was in either WCW or somewhere else. I remember seeing him before he went to WWE.
I'm looking this shit up. I swear to God.
I can't believe it. That's hard to believe. I can't believe that, actually.
It says before getting into professional wrestling, he attended the University of California at Davis, studying both film and geology. Upon deciding that he did not want to pursue either, he began his professional wrestling career training at some school. And after failing his audition for Tough Enough 2, he was accepted as a cast member for Tough Enough 3. And boom, there you go.
What a fucking twist. Wow, my mind is just fucking blown right now.
Yeah, and then from there, he was put in OVW, like their old NXT, I guess.
Yeah.
He teamed up with Melina and Mercury to make Eminem, where he was Johnny Nitro.
Yeah. I'll subject for a moment. You know, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about. I'm just blown away about John Morrison. But I'll subject, and I watched the Paul Heyman DVD. And
the legit one that they released?
Yeah, the legit one they released.
All right.
And he talked about the original plans for ECW before it ended up being what it ended up being eventually. I mean, like the WWE ECW.
Yeah.
They're bullshit. What he was saying was originally he was going to run the company or run like the little, I guess the show. It was going to be a developmental show. It was basically going to be their NXT.
Yeah.
And it was going to be an internet thing only. And it was going to be run by Shane McMahon. But that never happened. Nothing to do with anything. It's just the possibilities of what could have happened if we had ECW run by Shane McMahon.
Like, if you also want to, like, have your mind blown by fucking Paul Heyman's, like, mind for the business. Like around the Monday Night Wars, let's say, when ECW first showed up.
Yeah.
You know, his idea was like, all right, it's going to be kind of a grittier, more realistic feel. You know, the hardcore style we got.
Yeah.
Where, you know, it's just different than what you see.
Yeah.
Then, you know, we got the Attitude Era, and that evolved into the Ruthless Aggression Era. Nobody could see me do air quotes, but I am. And Heyman was doing SmackDown. So his idea was that, like, all right, we've transitioned again into like a more technical based wrestling.
Yeah.
So his idea for what wrestling should be, or a wrestling under his control like SmackDown, was to turn it into more of a almost shoot style feel.
Yeah.
So it would have sort of been like almost like a UFC kind of like, oh, these guys are fighting for real, and all the kind of gimmicks and bullshit stories of like, Daniel Bryan sleeping with physical therapist.
Yeah.
Like weren't going to be there. And it's like, can you imagine if fucking, I don't know, WWE got more serious and like kind of became like a legit sport feel and shit like that? Like, I don't know why they didn't do that.
Well, it's a lot of people in the way of good ideas. Like I said, I watched the DVD or the Blu-ray, whatever you want to do if you're fancy. I watched that, and
I watched the beta.
Yeah, I watched the laser disc of it.
I had to flip it.
And yeah, so I watched that, and it seemed like everyone was talking about how brilliant he is and how he has such a mind for the business. But when they interviewed Stephanie McMahon, it was a lot of her kind of like giving him backhanded, insults while she'll say stuff like, people will say he's a genius. I don't know about that, but he's pretty interesting and knows a lot about the business.
I hear that comes from him booking SmackDown and her being on like the creative side of SmackDown, and everybody giving him credit and her getting like no credit for it.
It could be, but you could tell there's a lot of bitterness, and I don't know. It was a lot of people shitting on him, who like who are involved with the McMahons, and a lot of people who don't have to worry about that, who are praising him on DVD. It just seems like, I think personally, it comes down to he will put on a better product than what they have now, and what they could ever possibly do. And it's more of like him making them look bad, basically.
He proved that he could put on the better product when he was doing SmackDown.
Yeah. Here's the thing about him. They fired him and talked to him, trying to negotiate, which he said he wanted to like basically like have the whole company, just have control of the whole company and not have to deal with like Bischoff and all that shit. But when they gave him an offer, they hired him back up and kept him there. I think they see have him working for them, being an advocate for Brock Lesnar, that him actually being, behind the wheel of driving like a fucking wrestling company.
I'm sure they were more worried about him than fucking Hulk Hogan taking over.
Yeah, I mean, they'll see TNA as a threat, but with Paul Heyman, we had the creative for TNA. That's a fucking threat.
Yeah, he had TV time. He would have he had stars. Like, I think TNA legitimately has people to watch. And even at that time, they had other people who were worth watching.
I mean, even now, even though they lost a lot of people and they're on a TV network that you barely see, put Paul Heyman in charge of that shit. It turned it completely around. I think they're probably, what they need to do, what he'll probably actually suggest, is for them to go to the route of Ring of Honor and actually have like the show a couple of days later on their website, or just like post it on YouTube themselves.
Yeah,
because people post videos on YouTube, but they're awful quality. I mean, I know he'll basically turn the business around and make an actual threat to WWE.
Yeah, people will be talking about Austin Aries and EC3 and stuff.
Yeah. All right, we got so much off subject, but you know what? That's fine. Because the next thing we're talking about is a Naomi and Brie Bella match.
And like, I'm aware that everybody wants Naomi to like be this great competitor, and like she says that she was like the best thing on that season of Tough Enough with AJ, even though like Caitlyn won that season of Tough Enough. So I guess she was third best technically. And this match, like, I'm not a big Naomi fan, and this match definitely didn't do anything to help it.
Well, she was overacting as a heel. It was ridiculous, the stuff that she was doing and saying. And you could tell she's not comfortable in the role, and she's trying the best she can. And it was a heel versus heel match, and it's going to lead into a heel versus heel match at the pay-per-view. So it's more like the crowd was just cheering for who they felt was the least annoying.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't help that Naomi came out to the Funkadactyls music and rear view.
Yeah,
That I in the total time of the match, probably a third of it was spent in like chin locks.
yeah.
And it was just like, I mean, I don't hate her, but man, you really got to do something different than this to
I, I
like
like
convince
I
me.
like her at all. She's pretty cool performer, but when it comes down to it, she's just not heel material. And it doesn't make sense to like make one of the only few like legitimate faces you have in the divas, like whatever the fuck you want to call it. And is it really a division? Is it?
in the Divas group because it's
Yeah. So you have just one person in the divas group that people actually like who's still there because they already got rid of Paige. Like she's gone for a little while.
yeah, filming a movie, aka out with injury.
Yeah. So like they have no one else. So the only person they have left that can actually go against the Bellas, they turn her fucking heel. It makes no sense.
It's like I said last week. I'm worried that they think the Bellas are going to be face.
Because they're not. They're fucking not.
No, and I don't think anybody in the crowd would believe them as faces.
Maybe Brie because she's a better wrestler and
or Nikki.
Well, no, Nikki's not gonna happen. She's not gonna turn face. No one's gonna buy that. But for Brie, they may buy Brie turning face
because of Brian, but Brian's not around.
But not just Brian, but I think she has more of an appeal than Nikki.
I don't know. I mean, everybody says that Nikki's a better wrestler.
Well, now she's. But I think Brie at one point was the better out of it too.
I'll tell you this: last week and this week with them on commentary, definitely doesn't make me want to cheer for them. Commentary.
Let's be honest. The whole commentary the entire night was just.
Yeah, it really felt like, I don't know, like they didn't know what to do or they just didn't care. Unless it came to like Booker trying to oversell Naomi, the commentary trying to put over Reigns. It's like they had no direction.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Oh no, wait, they had a direction. Sell the paper. You got.
In fact, the whole show, it felt like everyone was tired, like exhausted for like probably like be on the road. I have no idea, but it just felt like everyone was fucking exhausted. like the job, and you can tell he's always tired because he's been doing it for entirely too fucking long.
Where he's got the job down to where it seems like he does nothing.
Yeah, but he does every day.
Yeah.
I feel like that's where they are right now. It's just like it's like fucking repetition for him now.
Yeah, and that's sad. I mean, I don't like Byron Saxton, and the way they threw him on TV doing the Owen Hart voice didn't help, but maybe he would have done something different. Like I said, they need to just throw Corey Graves, Renee Young on there.
Yeah.
Just give me a whole new commentary team. But not King. Please never bring King back.
Yeah. Oh, Taz just quit TNA, so maybe.
So when Taz quit, did the first thing you think of was Botchamania's "It's Taz"?
I was thinking we'll get more of that in WWE. I hope they hire him
for Tough Enough.
Well, whatever, I think Taz, well, probably as a commentator. I would prefer to see Taz as a commentator. I mean, it doesn't have to be Raw. It could be SmackDown.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's clear we're avoiding talking about this match. It wasn't nothing great.
It happened. Nikki talked a lot of smack outside the ring. Naomi beat Brie, which she's already done since she's already stated she's already done that.
At one point.
Yeah.
So they were calling spots.
It was as bad as the final match. Not the final match. The Cena match, that though.
Yeah. I mean, and then on the commentary, Brie's like, she might be athletic, but she can't beat me. She can't beat a Bella. And then Naomi wins, and then she just doesn't know what to say after that. Gets up, walks away.
And the first part about it, she's already beat both Bellas. It just, I don't know.
It's bad on the mic, and you're the women's or divas champion.
I just don't know.
There's stuff about the other, I'm tired of Paige yelling, "This is my house" all the time.
I like.
Does it all the time.
Well, she has something that everyone has a catchphrase or something they say, and I think it's cool that she actually tries.
They're trying to get fearless over. They're trying to get fearless over.
Fearless.
Well, I guess Nikki brought it up, but she was all like, "She's a fearless Bella." I have more emotion in my voice than she did. Ultron and they're fearless Bellas.
I always think of that one moment. Every time it's I wish you would have died in a wound.
Ooh. Oh man, I gotta find that clip to play on the show. I used to love it. It's been a while.
All right, so Naomi wins, and in fact, because you got two heels going against each other for absolutely no reason, the crowd doesn't know to change time, or they cheer for Brie because she was saying the less bullshit.
Yeah, and it kind of just felt like the crowd turn on it or whatever, but they weren't into it at all.
No, I think this crowd was more respectful than last week.
I almost this crowd would have been great either.
No. Yeah, so basically Naomi wins, and Sherry has the top.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, I don't know how that happened, but I guess whatever. Roman runs out, cuts a small promo because this was live, it's not pre-taped, and he talks a little bit of smack. What happened? Bo Dallas comes down, right?
Yeah, I was about to say, talking about the Roman Reigns promo, I guess it was fine. I literally remember nothing about it.
He didn't say much because he didn't have time to say much because, like I said, it's live and not pre-taped. So he came down, he talked a little bit of smack. It didn't really last long. Bo Dallas comes out, talks a little smack to him, and gets beat up. And you would think by this time Bo Dallas would stop coming out and interrupting people. It never ends well for him.
It's his gimmick.
Yeah, just like you think the Miz would just start having guests on his
Yeah, they're just going to whip his ass. But, I mean, I feel like as soon as they did the Believe That, it was just a matter of time before they got Reigns to do a Believe That.
Yeah. Well, like the crowds and cheers.
What they used to call the girly pop.
Yeah, so he gets a girly pop, and basically the men are kind of indifferent, or there's some maybe cheering. It feels like he's not getting booed like he used to.
When he did this, you could hear them booing.
You can hear some boos. He kind of mixes in with his little there's more.
Before he did that, literally when he first did the punch, people were booing already.
I mean, I don't want to just kind of ask bulls. Sometimes it does kind of mix in.
Well, no, it was before he did the ooh, and I didn't hear anybody going ooh because it was a sustained boo. It was almost as if the crowd knew what was going to happen or knew that he was just going to get squashed.
Well,
and they were like, nope, boo.
It wasn't a match. Getting his ass whooped as always. You would think, like I say, he would stay his ass in the back. But yeah, so I don't know what purpose it served other than what purpose did it serve? Are we supposed to laugh at it? We're supposed to find it funny?
I think it was a way of putting Reigns out there to talk without having him talk a lot.
Maybe.
They're going to send Bo out to do the heavy lifting of the promo, and then Superman beard, believe that.
Yeah, maybe you're right. This is a way to keep him from talking. But happen.
Yeah. Take away from this promo is what's up with Bo Dallas's beard? Shave that shit.
I think it's cool, but they're not doing anything with him, so whatever.
I mean, yeah, but I think you can clearly see the Bray Wyatt connection when he has the beard.
Yeah. I would love for Bray Wyatt to take him in and do something with him.
I don't know. I like Bo Dallas.
Do you think that'd be too on the nose if we took in Bo Dallas?
I mean, they could do it versus. I feel like they still need to do something with the two characters before they do that. Like it almost feels like when you go brother team, it's almost like you're giving up.
Yeah.
You know, like the gimmick isn't this guy's a cult leader and this guy's a motivational speaker. It's the gimmick is they're brothers.
You know what though? I actually heard this Gold does a fucking amazing match at a house show that no one saw.
Yeah, it was in the UK. Apparently he like Goldust got a standing ovation and like Cena came out and tried to leech off of the heat and stuff.
Yeah, during the Hogan, I think.
Yeah.
I heard you still got it, chance, all sorts of stuff. Like they say it should have been like a main event, like on TV somewhere.
Well, the only thing I could say about it is I hope fucking WWE feels stupid for having ended that fucking feud so early.
It was talks that the debate started back up, for God knows what reason. But that was because that was before they actually had a really good match. So, yeah. Who knows? Maybe it worked this time. They realized it actually worked with him.
I hope. I mean, I also hope that like it leads to Cody going back to Cody. Like I like Stardust, but I feel like that gimmick has a shelf life. He can only be Stardust for so long.
Look how long Goldust was Goldust, and how he evolved over time. Sometimes I look back at Goldust's career, I realized there are times he did some really crazy shit that had nothing to do with the original character. Like, remember at one point he was stuttering all the time?
Yeah, he had Tourette's.
Like the Marilyn Manson outfit thing going on, and he's always had like different things going on with his character, even though he was still Goldust.
But see, my defense of that is that Goldust was always Goldust. He was never anybody else. Like Cody's showed up as Cody and was Cody for a long time. Recently, he was Stardust. He still gets Cody chance, and he's like, "No, shut up." And I feel like that has to lead to something.
I see what you mean. Like, if he didn't get the Cody chance, it'd probably be cool to forget that he's Cody. Yeah.
Like he even plays it up like it's part of his character that he doesn't like to be referred to, and he wants to be forgotten as Cody. And as long as that's always around, the option of Stardust needs to go away will always be on the table.
Okay, let's move on to Sheamus versus Zack Ryder, which was basically somewhat of a squash match. Well, but yeah, it was. But he immediately ended. Kind of played around with him, did a little shit talking, and then Dolph Ziggler came out, stayed today.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't pretty much a squash match. It was a squash match. Like fucking Sheamus never put down the mic.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Like when you can beat somebody's ass while holding a microphone the whole time, anywhere. The guy who got beat.
Well, it was a moment. He has nothing on. I'll say he has nothing on Booker T. Not only did he hold a microphone while fighting and having a match, but he actually commentated his own match.
Oh man. Like anybody listening who hasn't seen Black Snow, you got to look that shit up. It was possibly the greatest year.
You think it's better than King Booker?
I don't know. You'd have to maybe next week you come back to me on that.
Also,
I love King Booker.
Speaking of that, I think they brought up G.I. Bro on the show. I don't know if you remember that back in the day. Yeah, I think they did on this episode. They brought up G.I. Bro.
God, who remembers? Like, what's funny about GI Bro is that like that was his original gimmick, like when he very first debuted, like in wrestling in general.
Yeah,
And then when they did that like Misfits in Action, I think it was,
yeah,
like he brought it back as like a nod to his original gimmick.
yeah,
But it's still like, who the fuck remembers the fucking Misfits in Action?
yeah. They were talking about it on the commentary tape. I forgot which person brought it up, but they brought it up. And they kind of mentioned it and bullshit around about it.
And was Booker like, you crazy, Cole?
All right, so so Sheamus is fighting Zack Ryder. He's kind of telling everyone like the reason why he turned heel, which is a lot. It's a lot of nothing.
Yeah, it's whatever.
And and basically like I still don't. It's like these fucking heel turns. It's just now I'm bad. I'm evil. Like why am I evil? No reason.
I mean, it's also funny to think about, like, before Sheamus got hurt, his gimmick was call 1-800-FELLA. And, like, if you have a bully, he'll show up and bro kick a bully.
Yeah.
And now he comes back and he's like, I'm evil. It's like that episode
he's like, I have become the thing I hate.
yeah. Oh, man, if you did that in the middle of the ring, like if Ziggler beat his ass and was like, you're just a bully. And he's like, I've been a bully this whole time.
I was trying to fight and stop bullying. It turns out it was I who was the bully.
And then he has like an emotional breakdown. He's crying and shit. Holy shit, that'd be crazy to watch.
I don't know, man. It just seems like he basically is a bully. It just doesn't seem like he's really a true heel. It's just I don't like these mid carders.
Yeah, I mean his heel turn is, and you're gonna have to kind of follow me on this one because it's gonna be a long explanation. But if you ever watched Justice League Unlimited, there was an episode where the Flash and Lex Luthor switch brains or switch bodies.
I remember this, but go ahead.
And the Flash is walking around the Legion of Doom and he's trying to act like Lex Luthor, and he goes to take a piss and he's walking out and somebody like Solomon Grundy's like, did you just use the bathroom? And he's like, yeah, and I'm not going to wash my hands because I'm evil.
I remember about the episode. This is totally off subject. What you had is relevant to what we're talking about. But the same episode, like I said, like you said, Lex and the Flash switch bodies. I always remember Lex in the Flash body.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He goes and says, now it's time to find out who the Flash is. He takes off his
Yeah, that was funny. How the hell would he know who he is? Like, Barry is not a fucking famous guy.
Yeah, just some dude. I mean, why would Lex even know who he is?
He's like, I don't follow Star City, like, police force and shit. I don't know who this guy is.
But yeah.
Like, that pretty much feels like the Sheamus turn. Like, he might as well have come out of the bathroom and, like, had Daniel Bryan be like, hey, no. As a matter of fact, I would have preferred that heel turn because I would have been on board. Like, yeah,
I mean, he's a badass heel. Like the stuff he's doing, but there's no context behind it. It's just like like he could be better doing the things he was doing.
Yeah, you're right. I do think he works better as a heel. Like in ring, I think he works better as a heel. But it's just like I don't know. Maybe we're asking too much from Raws that have been lackluster.
Yeah, we're asking for decent writing or at least competent writing, but that's still that.
Which is sad.
All right, so he basically won, I guess. Yeah, he won because interference. That's what happened.
Yep.
He basically had the match won anyway. When Ziggler runs out or interferes, he gets the win. I guess that's fine. It ends the segment of Sheamus just talking shit about how like he can't stand Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler for absolutely no reason, despite the fact that he was basically on the team with Ziggler before he got hurt to like get rid of the authority. If you remember that, that's the last time he was actually a face.
Was he part of that team?
Yeah, he did get a chance to wrestle. He got attacked and taken off TV. And they replaced him with Eric Rowan.
And that's how we got Rowan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was a face doing face stuff, and working with Ziggler, all that jazz, and then fighting the same cause Daniel Bryan was fighting, and then he comes back. He's like, "Fuck these two guys,"
Yeah.
and fuck Neville as well, just for being here.
And you know what? I feel like we might as well accept this as the best character we've got going on TV. I'm like,
oh my god!
Like it's nothing overly complicated. It's I don't like these guys, so we're gonna wrestle.
Basically, I don't like mid carders who think they're better than the mid card.
Yeah, and you know what? That gives me a reason to wrestle all of the mid card now. So here we go.
Yeah.
As compared to like, anybody really. Fandango, what's his story? Curtis Axel, what's his story?
Yeah.
Adam Rose, what's his story?
Be a jobber.
Yeah.
All right, so we're moving on, and we're going to the John Cena versus Kane match. Like when Cena came out, he was talking and saying his whole thing about how like basically the Russian chain match is simply just a strap match, but with a Russian. He was explaining a strap match, but with a Russian chain, which means if the chain wasn't Russian, it could have been like a Mexican chain match or made in China chain match or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's face it, it was a China chain match.
It was most likely it's from China.
Or I don't know, is Detroit still doing stuff with steel? I know their economy's bad, but are they still making chains?
They're blowing all their money on their RoboCop statue. So
Big stuff.
It's all going towards RoboCop.
Yeah, and maybe next year when we get Triple H and the Terminator versus Sting and RoboCop.
Yeah, there you go. Oh man, it would make total sense. To be honest, that's the sad part about it. It would make total sense.
I'd watch that WrestleMania.
I remember seeing RoboCop. I was a stupid ass kid at the time, so I was like, "Oh, it's RoboCop. That's so awesome and shit, right?"
Yeah.
But even though I'm a dumbass, I'm kind of just wanting him to leg drop someone.
Why leg drop? Like I was wanting his gun. Like I wanted him to open up his leg and start shooting people in the dick.
In the dick.
Yeah, isn't that his thing? Shooting people in the dick?
Only when they're trying to like rape a woman.
Did you ever see that fan? Like a bunch of fans got together and remade RoboCop, like scene for scene.
Yeah, that's just to give a shout out to her, comic book girl. I think is her name.
I don't think she was involved in that.
I think she played RoboCop.
Was she in RoboCop in that scene?
Yeah, she went. Like the guy was like, "You were a girl. I could have totally raped you." Or maybe I'm thinking about a different like spoof. And also, this got dark. We're talking about dick shots and rape.
See what you did, WWE? You're forcing us to talk about this shit.
All right. So John Cena comes out. He talks about basically having a strap match. And then Kane comes out to challenge him. And like my reaction, I was like, who's gonna wrestle John Cena now? It's always been good. And then fucking Kane comes out. I'm like, this is gonna be a bad one.
Yeah.
Or at least like an average one.
If you had any hope that it was gonna be good, like that first couple of minutes was like, nope. Like Cena's pretty much telling me the match as it's going, so Kane didn't even really need to be there.
Yeah, so Cena was basically calling out spots. And you see this obvious call out by Kane. If you remember, he just grabs his head and puts his head to his ear and talks to him. Like, not even trying to fucking hide it.
I mean, Cena's always been super loud in calling spots.
No, I mean, Kane, like, he was elaborate. Like, Cena's called out spots loud. That's fine. But Kane just grabbed him and then put his head to his, he basically whispered in his ear, like blatantly whispered in his ear.
He whispered sweet nothings in his ear.
Yeah.
What are you doing after the show?
Whisper in your ear. It was weird. It was kind of a weird moment. And the punches that fucking John Cena was throwing was ridiculous. Like you can see it wasn't even hitting anyone.
And goddamn, I got thrown off. Yeah, this match sucked.
Yeah, basically, it's an awful match.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I was expecting from a goddamn Kane match, but I don't know. This is definitely seen as worst of the like 4, I guess he's had now for his open challenge.
Yeah, it was the worst. And then and then he actually went to Kane went to the back and got like a little clap from Triple H, and they're like, "Oh well, you proved something." I guess I don't know what the fuck he proved, but it was something. Actually, wait. I think we skipped like earlier.
No, that was after this match. That Triple H we'll get into it, but it's after this match.
I swear it was earlier because of the fact that Kane I swear it was earlier because Kane wanted to resign and quit, and then he had a match later on. Or I could be wrong. Maybe he lost and then he wanted to quit.
It was after he proved something that Triple H talked to him again. Because that's when Triple H was like, "You're going to be the guardian of the gate."
I thought you were going to say Guardian of the Galaxy.
Yeah, you're going to be Yondu now.
Yeah. And which is dumb, which is fucking stupid. Guardian of the Gate.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we'll get into all that later.
Was the Triple H promo after this?
It was right before the Rollins match, or right after the Rollins match. It was after the Rollins match.
Was it because I remember them like going off with Rollins inside the cage?
Yeah, that was after the Rollins Ziggler match.
Yeah, so like Triple H came out before that.
No, he came out after. We'll get into it. Pretty much, Cena Kane sucked. Cena was backstage. Rusev wrapped the chain around his nose, which looked like it hurt.
Yeah, it did look pretty badass. Let's be honest about that. They made Rusev into a badass.
In that moment, he did, but when he loses at fucking Extreme Rules, it's not going to be so great.
Yeah. What if he wins? I mean, I don't know.
Bree, what if he does?
I mean, I'm just saying, it would be kind of cool if he wins.
Yeah, I don't know. It's too early to have a 1 month reign and then have it just go back.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna go back, but I just feel like now they're actually doing something with Cena where he's not as predictable as we've grown to see him as.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into the pay-per-view. We have our usual 2 matches before the finale that we've seen for every week.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to the Miz versus basically Damien Sandow now, who was Mizdow, but he lost the match and now he's just Sandow. And I feel like, okay, the match was pretty decent. And there's outside interference that cost him the match. But I feel like, okay, so him losing the rights to use the Miz, we talked about that before. It was going to happen eventually. He's going to go back to being himself.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But shouldn't that happen at the pay-per-view? Not the week of the pay-per-view?
No, because it makes sense. Now. Now it makes sense. Whoa, what the hell was that?
Oh, that's me fucking around.
Oh, but now it makes sense. Because now Sandow has to be his own character. They're going to go into Extreme Rules. Sandow's going to win. Fuck the Miz up pretty bad. That will film that movie with Paige he's doing.
Maybe, yeah. I just feel like that should have been something that happened at the pay-per-view, but
yeah, but if he wins, if Sandow wins at the pay-per-view, he's still Mizdow, which they need to stop having him do that as soon as possible.
I mean, I wouldn't mind him losing at the pay-per-view, is what I was saying. It kind of having like he loses at the pay-per-view in the next few weeks is him trying to find himself or some shit before he actually faces the Miz again.
Yeah, but I feel like this is an easy way to write off the Miz because he has to go film a movie.
Probably, yeah.
Just have him lose on a big stage and make Sandow look strong.
Yeah.
And have a reason for him not to be around for a couple of months while he does a movie nobody's going to watch.
Speaking of that, his new movie comes out today, The Marine 4.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that review.
Yeah, play a review of that. I figure I'll just do a Marine series.
Retrospective?
Yeah, retrospective. I'll probably do every single movie, which I personally think Ted DiBiase Jr.
Sorry for your girlfriend having to watch all this shit with you.
She's probably not.
She's like, I'll just be in the room.
I'll probably have to watch it by myself alone, like it's porn or something.
Looking over your shoulder.
Looks like you're watching. Oh, nothing. Certainly not the Marine.
Yeah. Oh, what? I'm not a Marine enough for you? But yeah, we got this same match. It's literally in the past 3 weeks, it's always been Mizdow, followed by Ryback versus whoever in the same spots.
Yeah.
Like almost with the same results. It's just, I'm glad this match is finally here and we're going to end all this shit.
Yeah. And then we have Ryback versus Adam Rose. Adam Rose has been basically passed around by everyone lately.
Jesus Christ.
It's been awful for him. And then not only did Ryback run through him and squashed him, but then fucking did away with his bananas as well, I guess.
The banana and the hot dog. I feel like he faced Adam Rose specifically to beat the hot dog and the banana so he can do feed me more jokes or I'm still hungry jokes.
Yeah. With a joke again.
Yeah. Which is pretty much a squash match, one big joke.
Yeah. I hear that was Rosa Mendez came to his rescue at the very end.
Yeah, that was the chick in the red dress that rolled in for no reason.
I guess I fucking left the room after that.
I guess it's a cheap way to get him and what's his name, Fandango to feud, which I guess it'll keep them too busy and away from everybody else that matters.
Oh, I'm not sure why Fandango would feud with him if Fandango dumped her, because he realized he wants to dance with himself like Billy Idol. I don't
dance like at that Raw you went to where they cut to commercial in the middle of his song and he's just dancing there like a dumbass.
Yeah, let me tell the audience about this. I went to a Raw in my hometown, and this is my first Raw, to be honest. I had never seen Raw live before since fucking the 90s or so.
I was about to say, I thought you've been to Raw before.
Yeah, but it's totally different now. This is my first recent Raw, because now it's very much like a fucking.
Did you find out for stuff that you're at home you make no noise for?
All right, Dolph Ziggler is one of my favorite wrestlers. Everyone knows that, and fucking named a website after him. So I marked out when Dolph Ziggler came out. I was quiet the whole time. Music hit, I stood up like a fucking asshole. Like Kermit the Frog, waving my arms in front of this little kid that couldn't see shit because I'm standing my big ass.
Everybody, yeah.
It was that happened, which I knew it was gonna happen, but also it was I talked a lot of shit about Cena.
Yeah.
Not wanting to see him, and of course he sucks and all that jazz. And even in line, waiting to get in, I'm like, the one guy asked me, "Hey, are you one of those Cena suck guys?" I'm a sucks guy. And you high five? Yeah, fuck Cena.
Yeah, fuck him.
And then this other guy was like, "I'm a Let's Go Cena guy." We started talking shit about him and whatever. Basically, long story short, I get in there. I'm like, man, fuck Cena. And then when I sit down, I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, hope Cena's here. And then he comes out and try not to cheer.
Yeah, boo. Thanks for showing up, boo. What's funny,
get out of here. I want to see you, but I am kind of glad to see you. Glad you're here, boo.
What's funny is whenever I talk to people who go to Raws or just shows in general, SmackDown, whatever.
Yeah.
They always say that they find themselves cheering and making noise for stuff at home you make no noise for. They get caught up in the moment a lot. And whenever Cena shows up, everybody kind of has they have time to think about there's kids here. Should I be booing the shit out of this guy in front of these kids?
It was I didn't do it. I kind of wanted to boo him, but it was I'm not gonna lie, I was glad to see him there at the show, and then later on, it kind of changed my mind. I kind of changed my mind on him. I'm like, you know what? Maybe he's not such a bad guy. I mean, I know he's I hear he's a real good guy in real life. It's a decent person, but I was like, maybe his character's not so bad. But after a couple of weeks, I was like, "Fuck them again." Until the next show comes along, and then I'll probably cheer for them.
Well, that Yay Cena didn't last very long.
Nah, it didn't. Okay, so after the Ryback match, we get Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler, which is actually probably one of the. I'll just say this: it was.
I don't know if I can argue with the fact that it's the best match of the night.
Yeah, I was gonna say it probably was, but the truth is, it was. And it didn't even live up to a potential it could have been.
No, it didn't. I mean, they had hope spots, and it was a decent back and forth. But it's just like you could tell they were saving a lot of story bits for the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So they couldn't really go at it like they want to.
Yeah, there's no point to go at that big, right before the pay-per-view. Also, we saw the debut of Seth Rollins' new move. Since he can't do the curb stop.
What the hell was that thing?
I have no idea. I think he made it up like the night before.
It looked like he made it up on the spot. Like he was like, "Oh, I can't do the dirty deeds." Ambrose does that. Face plant? I don't know. That's too much like the scroll crushing finale. I'll just do something.
Yeah, because he can't really actually use the curb stop. I'll say skull crusher. I don't know why that popped in my mind. But he can't use the curb stomp. And WWE's kind of backpedaling, saying they didn't ban the curb stomp, but they don't want him using it. And I'm like, that's fucking the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how maybe you don't want people at home trying curb stomping each other.
Well, they shouldn't be fucking curb stomping each other. If they are, then like let fucking natural selection take its course.
That's how we weed out the weak here in the animal kingdom. Curb stomps. I mean, it's all like in reality, it's all the guy taking the curb stomp. It's all up to him how safe it is. Because Rollins jumps and kind of just puts his foot on the back of the guy's head.
Yeah.
And lets the guy kind of travel down. Like he almost like, I don't know if we ever actually see him push anybody.
I see him sell like he's pushing it, but yeah, you can still tell that they're kind of taking it themselves. Ambrose took a serious one on like the briefcase, the Money in the Bank briefcase. But I think that's Ambrose wanted to take it like that.
I mean, there's some people like Brock takes a really good curb stomp, but like when you see Rollins do it, like he kind of rests his foot, like he doesn't really push him down. Like, I don't know. On one hand, I get it. You don't want people copying it. And on the other hand, it's like that's an interesting move. He's the only one who does it. Like, what the hell are we doing?
For I've read other places, it was more like they didn't want him doing it, on a consistent basis.
I could see that. Save it for like a big event.
Yeah.
I mean, I can get behind that more, but if we don't see the curb stomp, like, what's the next major pay-per-view? SummerSlam?
Yeah.
Like, if we don't see one at SummerSlam or Money in the Bank or something, then it's going to be like, I'm really going to get pissed off. Well, as pissed off as I can be, I guess.
Yeah, because we can't do anything but write a letter.
Yeah. And have Hulk Hogan send a picture. Thanks for the help, brother.
Which happened to me as a kid.
You know something, dude.
It was fucking like Earth. Well, let me tell this story real quick because Raw's boring.
Yeah, we might as well. We're already at the end of the show.
Yeah, when I was a little kid, for anyone who's listening, who gives a shit. When I was a little kid, I think it was Earthquake.
Yeah.
Set on Hogan, and then of course he went away because he was injured. And
AKA he was doing a movie, I think.
Probably doing a movie, and being a kid, I'm like, pissed off, like, no, not Hogan, and like, so I write him a letter, basically hoping that my mom suggested it. I was like, what can I do to make him feel better? She's like, why don't you write him a letter? Like, all right, so I wrote a sloppy ass fucking letter because I'm a kid. I don't really know curve. I sent it back with like a little letter and a fucking like autographed picture of it. It was so fucking cool. Like I was not like when I grew up.
And now it's more weird to think about somebody way of like, wow, that is old. It's a letter. Who does that anymore?
Yeah, now you just like fucking like
yeah.
Like, what's up, Hogan? How you feeling for the Earthquake attack?
He'd probably be like, "Who?" And then
Was he the shock? No, he wasn't.
No, that was Tugboat.
That was Tugboat. Yeah, I always get the mixed up because they were a tag team.
Disasters.
Yeah,
it was better than him and Hakeem, who were the Twin Towers. And then Hogan brought that shit down.
Have you seen that meme of Hogan actually bringing down the?
Yeah, with the big boot.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, God. that's how we beat the.
All right, so like the Seth Rollins match, it could have been better. We could tell that saving it, and the cage comes down.
No, Rollins after Sheamus interrupts the match and like costs Ziggler the match.
Oh, that's what happened. Yeah, because Ziggler, stopped him from beating on Zack Ryder earlier in the day.
Yeah, and Ziggler's outside selling. Rollins starts cutting a promo about how everybody sucks and how great he is.
Yeah.
Triple H comes down to the ring, starts talking about Tough Enough. Rollins is like, "I don't mean to interrupt you, but I was just talking about something, you bitch."
Yeah.
And then like they talk about God knows fucking what, and then that's keeper.
Yeah.
Because he proved whatever. And then that's when the
master and a gatekeeper.
Yeah. Rick Moranis is going to be special guest referee because he's the key man. And that's when the cage comes down and Orton shows up and Rollins takes an RKO and we go to credits, I guess.
Yeah. Let's talk about what Triple H talked about. He had this big announcement, concerning Tough Enough. And they talked about and dropped this big announcement. And I can't figure out what the fuck it was. I don't know if it was supposed to be it was going to be on the WWE network. It was going to be on USA. Or the announcement was that it was happening because we already knew that. Or the announcement was that on this, the date of it happening. I don't know. I don't know what the big announcement was. It's basically just him just talking about Tough Enough.
I sure hope it wasn't fucking Tough Enough is happening because they wouldn't shut the hell up about it all night.
Yeah, I have no idea, but this big announcement never happened. It was just a lot of just talking about Tough Enough, and nothing surprised me. Maybe they thought like, oh, it's coming on this date. It's coming really soon. What's going to be a big deal, and they'll get a SmackDown pop out of it or something. But nothing happened. Nothing happened at all. And that was the end of a shitty show.
Wow, that sucks. That's sad that's how that ended. And you know what's funny? I just realized I can play videos and people can hear like what's happening.
Yeah. I don't know. It's ridiculous. Like, there's no reason for the show to have been as bad as it is. We're talking about Extreme Rules.
Sure.
Okay, so
you're not gonna do the Steve Austin podcast where he's like, "You won't talk about CM Punk."
You know what's funny about the Steve Austin podcast? I feel like he's trying his best to be a reporter, and it's just funny seeing him do that. I think more if you watch both the podcasts or listen to them, if you watch both of the podcasts they did with WWE,
yeah,
it seems like Stone Cold, because I listened to his stuff before then, he's not shy to answer questions. Like, if anyone asks him a question, he give you a straight up answer. Because, okay, people ask me these questions all the time. I'll ask, the people who answer them. I don't think they're really like that. So they went with Jericho, who's more of like a storyteller.
Yeah, and a kiss ass.
Yeah. Like, remember when we did this and did that versus like Stone Cold's like, so what's the deal with CM Punk?
Yeah. You want to talk about Punk?
Yeah. So all right, Extreme Rules. What's your prediction for Kid and Cesaro versus the New Day?
I think it's too early to switch the titles. And Kid and Cesaro recently got a shirt, so I think if they have to keep titles on them. I feel like the more interesting thing to come out of this match is who's going to be face and who's going to be heel. Because New Day's freshly heel, and people cheer Kid and Cesaro. So is this their way of slowly turning them, or what's going on with this?
You think this is going to probably be moved to the pre-show?
It is on the pre-show.
Oh, it is? Okay, I figured it was on the show. But yeah, it sounded like a pre-show match.
Yeah, because if it was the regular show, then Randy Orton would just come out and beat everybody again.
Yeah. Oh man, what if it ended like that? Randy Orton just come out. He's already RKO'd the New Day. He's already beat Kid and Cesaro. What if it ended with him just come out and just like RKO everyone in the ring? What if Randy Orton left with the tag team titles?
I was gonna say they might as well like have a referee grab the tag titles and put them on display at Titan headquarters and never use them again. Because that would absolutely bury the goddamn tag titles.
Yeah. I'm going for New Day.
I'm going Kid and Cesaro.
Yeah. Like you said, your reason is valid. I'm going for New Day because I think they're pushing New Day. And they're not doing the best job of it, but they've constantly pushed New Day despite the reaction they've gotten. And I think this is their way of like trying to turn things around. I think New Day is going to cheat somehow and get the belts. Yeah.
I feel like what they should do is, we haven't been talking about it lately, but the primetime players have been like cutting about how like the Ascension sucks. They pointed out that Los Matadores are like two Puerto Rican guys, Spanish bullfighters. And as one guy on Twitter said, I think they should go ahead and have black on black crime and have primetime players versus the New Day.
Oh my God.
Because primetime players should be face because of all the like funny promos they've been cutting.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to chant millions of dollars again.
Yeah.
So why not have that be a thing?
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Jeff. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say you can have you have a tag, like a couple of tag matches between them, heel and face. You can have heel Kid Cesaro face Lucha Dragons, and then just by dumb luck, you've managed to build somewhat of a tag division.
Yeah. I was going to ask, what's your prediction on John Cena versus Rusev? The Russian strap match.
Yappa pie. They should have had a yappa pie strap match.
Yeah.
And then had Hogan come out there and strap match.
What's the next match we're going to have? The next gimmick they'll have? What, a fucking vodka from the Raptors match or something? A lap.
Hall's going to be.
Yeah. Oh, man.
He's gonna do like my favorite thing on WCW, where he had a match against like Laparco or El Dandy or one of the luchadors.
Yeah.
And he's like, I better get my Spanish to English translating book out here.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
And he's all like, oh yeah, beer? I like beer. And then they didn't wrestle and had a few drinks and then just walked to the back.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I feel that's going to be a good. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty safe to bet Cena.
Yeah. I mean, if I was in fucking Vegas right now, I would like empty my trust fund on LOL Cena.
You don't think like maybe Rusev would win? No, there's no way he could win. Like disqualification or anything. It's a strap match.
I don't know how he could win.
I'm just saying, let's just call it what it is. It really is just a strap match.
Yeah. No, but Russian Chain, though.
Yeah. But yeah, so John Cena wins that one. Daniel Bryan versus Bad News Barrett. Who do you think's going to win that? I can't even really ask you that without laughing a little.
I think the Doctor is going to win that because Bryan probably isn't going to be able to wrestle.
Think so?
I mean, it doesn't sound like he is. And I feel like the match we have at Extreme Rules will let us know how good or bad Bryan's condition is.
I mean, he was pulled for the European tour. That happened, and they said he was injured. I heard he wasn't. I heard he had a concussion. I heard he didn't. And strangely enough, the news that he had a concussion came like a day or two before they banned the curb stomp. I don't really think that's related because it is. They say it's not true. He had a concussion, but just saying, it's kind of kind of coincidence, I guess. But anyway,
you're getting all tinfoil hat on us.
Yeah, I'm doing some detective work trying to solve this shit.
The government, man, they're taking away the curb stomp.
Yeah, conspiracies, I'm telling you. Try to take away Cesaro's swing, now try to take away the curb stomp.
They took away Neville's first name.
Yeah. Same thing with Rusev.
Did Rusev have a first name?
Yeah.
What was it?
I can't remember exactly. I think it was Alexander Rusev.
I know Big E got rid of Langston. Antonio Cesaro's just Cesaro.
Yeah, it's like they don't want you to have. They just want Madonnas, basically. They don't want any last names.
So they went old skeletons trying to be like relevant. So they're going to get Ric Flair to come out.
He's just Flair.
Ric Flair's the closest thing wrestling has to Madonna.
Yeah.
An old past their prime skeleton still walking around.
So it's gonna be the drink he makes out with awkwardly.
Let's see. He's old, so let's go vodka soda, or no, vodka tonic.
No, Drake. Like you remember? I don't know if you see that. Like Madonna making out with Drake. That's like pop culture stuff. We're not talking about that. Doesn't matter.
You mean Canadian rapist Drake?
Yeah.
Geez, who would that be? Who's sort of a flash in the pan? Cameron?
Yeah.
You know, she was somebody for a while. Now we all forgot her.
Would it be like Eva Marie, probably?
No, because Eva Marie was a nobody.
Yeah.
Like I said, it has to be somebody that was on TV and kind of a thing for a while, and then everybody just forgot about them.
Yeah. All right, so
yeah, if the match happens, I would say Bryan, but this will be a big way to let us know what his health is like.
Yeah, it has to be definitely Bryan. Now I have a feeling though that Barrett may win it just to get the belt off of him.
Yeah, like I said, if Bryan, that's how.
Yeah. Nikki Bella versus Naomi for the Divas title. 2 questions. First one, who do you think is going to win it? Second question is, do you think the crowd's going to care?
All right. So I guess I'll answer that in order. I think it's LOL Nikki. And no, I don't think the crowd will give a shit.
I'm going to say I have a feeling that Naomi may win it just to like kind of give her a little bit more momentum as a heel, but I don't think it's going to be now.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly my thinking. Is I don't mind Naomi having the belt because, as I've said before, I feel like the Divas title does not matter. And, you know, why not just kind of hot potato it around?
Yeah, it just does not sound sexist to anyone listening to us who thinks we're sexist. We don't think it matters because it doesn't make it matter.
Yeah, it's not like the NXT Women's Championship where it actually matters.
Yeah.
It's, you know, for a long time they've had fucking, like, Rosa Mendez has won the title. Like, that should prove that they don't really care.
You know what? I remember seeing the Alundra Blaze Hall of Fame thing, and she takes the belt, the title, the Women's Championship. And I'm like, oh, God. Like, when I saw it, I was like, it hasn't been called a Women's Championship in so long. Like, it felt like WWE threw that shit in the trash.
Time it mattered, it was called the Women's Championship. You know, back when
women wrestled for it.
Tori Wilson and Lita like closed a Raw to fight over the title. Now like a throwaway. It's like I said, like if this was NXT, I would 100% like want this to be the second to last match, and I'd give.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm going LOL Nikki.
Yeah. All right, Dolph Ziggler versus Sheamus. Kiss me match.
Oh man, how bad did you want to do that accent?
Every time I hear him talk, I think of like fucking Bullseye. For the bad Daredevil, not the good one, the bad one.
Well, he is Irish.
Yeah.
The truth is, because it's a kiss me arse match, I don't want to see anybody lose because I don't want this to be a thing where we're kissing ass.
Yeah. I actually put up on the website at one point, after the whole tug of war thing that happened on Raw between Reigns and Brock Lesnar. I posted a lot of stories about times that they really didn't make us feel like assholes for lack of their product. Like we really felt embarrassed for lack of their product. And one of the things I brought up is the kiss my ass situation with Vince McMahon.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
It was really embarrassing. And the worst part about it was the very first member of the Kiss My Ass Club was Sir William Regal, who basically kissed his ass on his own. If you watch the video, it's like this grown man just kissed another grown man's ass, like on his own free will. Who writes that? Who comes up with that shit? But
I would say Vince McMahon. Maybe. Like, wasn't that whole kiss my ass thing his idea?
I don't know. Would you do it if your boss is like, you know what, kiss my ass for this amount of money?
How much money are we talking about?
On live TV, kiss my Ricardo fucking, what, 50-year-old ass at the time? 60-year-old ass?
How much money? Can I retire on this?
No.
Because I feel like I would have to retire and never be seen again.
No, you got to still work.
The fuck no. I'll go to the Indies. I'll be a big star in PWG or something.
All right. So, who are you going for? Are we going to see Dolph Ziggler kiss Sheamus arse?
It's too early for Sheamus to lose.
Yeah.
Because he's, barely been back and he hasn't had a real feud with anybody.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're too comfortable with having Ziggler lose all the time. But I'm going to say Dolph Ziggler because I don't want to see somebody kiss somebody's ass or arse, depending on where you're from.
I always go Dolph, unless it's against Adrian Neville, that I don't know. So
and then it's up in the air like Neville.
Yeah, basically. I remember actually I was subject again. I remember one time my significant other was asking me who I thought would win a fight between Neville and Ziggler, because I always tell her like Ziggler is a great worker and she sees it and she loves him as well. And I told her that Neville's a human highlight reel, which is basically he is.
And they was a human highlight reel.
So was it Edge? Not Edge, but Christian.
Was that his gimmick? I remember somebody had the gimmick of the human highlight reel.
I forgot. Where there's somebody listening to this really pissed off that we don't know this. The face, we have to see who went out of the two.
Oh, it was Sabu.
Was it? Yeah. No, he was well, Sabu was a lot of things.
Yeah. I Wikipedia'd it. It was one of his things, besides homicidal, suicidal, genocidal, and all that.
That's what I remember. But that long ass fucking title he had. That and all the botches he did. But yeah,
well, they're not gonna put like the botch machine or anything like that.
Yeah, the botchinator. All right, so Dean Ambrose versus Luke Harper in the Chicago Street Fight. Do you think Dean Ambrose is gonna win, or is Luke Harper gonna probably win and run away?
I think they have to give this one to Ambrose. Like, as much as I don't want to see Harper lose, I think Ambrose has to win this.
He's lost. He's kind of won it recently, but he has lost a lot before that.
Yeah, I just feel like over the past year, let's say, his character has lost more than he's won.
Yeah. All right, here's next. Let's move to the next one, because I agree with you on that. It's going to be Dean Ambrose. Who do you think is going to win out of Roman Reigns and Big Show, the last man standing match? And do you think the crowd will be bored to death?
All right, this time I'm going to reverse it. And yes, I think the crowd will be bored to death. But I feel like they want the Big Show to win.
You think so?
I do, actually.
What makes you think the Big Show's going to win?
Just because you remember how we were talking about WWE's lazy booking and how they feel like having Big Show and Kane face people makes that person look strong.
Yeah.
I feel like they want this to be like at the start of a feud, even though everybody's tired of it by now.
Yeah.
And I feel like because it's a last man standing match, it gives like Big Show an excuse to like put a bunch of trash on him. And it's just like, oh, it's not like he can't do it. It's just, there's a ton of weight on him. But then again, I feel like what's really going to happen is Big Show,
Yeah.
and then Reigns is just going to power out of it. Superman punch, Big Show's down for 10.
Yeah, I have a feeling Reigns going to win it. But I have a feeling he's going to win it somehow. Like, he may hit the spear, not in a normal way, but like maybe Show will have like a trash can he's holding or something and he hits him with it. He's going to hit an epic spear.
Yeah.
There's going to be some kind of weapon involved. So other than that, yes, it's going to be Reigns winning. And Big Show, if he can ever get up. I think it'll be easy, like to win the last man standing match. It takes Big Show 10 seconds to get up, like normally.
Huh.
He's so fucking big.
It takes him 10 seconds just to get in the goddamn ring.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm going to go Reigns as well, but I am 100% not going to be shocked if Big Show wins for the reasons I stated.
Yeah, I just feel like the ass whooping the Big Show gave Reigns kind of like gives Reigns the right to win this time. I could be wrong. I just think it's not. Well, I don't know. It doesn't matter what I think about Reigns and Big Show. Let's talk about that. Who cares?
It's like I said. I want Reigns to win because I don't want to see them wrestle anymore.
Yeah,
but it's also. I'm also worried that WWE creative has no idea other than Big Show feud.
Yeah, it's like I was thinking like it would make Reigns look weak if he gets dominated like on top of the car and all that jazz, and then lose the match as well. But I was thinking, you know what? It doesn't matter in the end. It's like we're tired of seeing this match. We just need to get Reigns away from Big Show. What they need to do is put Reigns with someone he can work with, or someone can work with him.
Man, you were turning into a robot left and right on my end of the thing.
I'm turning into Stephen Hawking. All right. Sorry about that. If anybody got offended. But yeah.
Well, luckily
I was like, Theory of Verity is a pretty good movie.
Yeah, that guy won a fucking Oscar for it.
Yeah.
So be prepared a little while.
Yeah.
Because that happens.
Okay, so
to everybody.
Yeah, so Reigns, we said we're going to win this one, and now we're going on to Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton in the cage match. No RKO. Kane's the gatekeeper. It's ridiculous.
Why so many fucking things on this match? You know why so many things on this match? Because Rollins is going to win.
Think so?
Of course.
Well, yeah, actually, the heel always wins in a cage match. It's the face that always makes the cage match, and then the heel wins.
I mean, that's not always true, but it's like I said, they've been keeping Orton super strong going into this match because he's going to lose. And they also threw the stipulations in there to give it even more of a reason why like Orton got fucked over because they got to keep Orton strong. And I feel like the booking has given it away what's going to happen.
Yeah. So there you have it. We just went through the whole pay-per-view. Hopefully next week after the pay-per-view would be better. Because I feel like the Raws after pay-per-views sometimes slightly better.
Yeah, hopefully, because it's the building of new stories. I mean, we got whoever Bray Wyatt's calling out. I'm pretty sure it's Ryback.
That's what they're saying is Ryback, which I do not want to see this.
No.
And also,
I don't.
I feel like working with The Undertaker is cool. Like what they did with The Undertaker is fine with him calling out like someone and then eventually it's revealed to be the Undertaker. But I hope this is not his gimmick, being cryptic as fuck, calling out someone until he finally reveals it. Say all these things week from week to week, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm talking about you, Zack Ryder." It's like, I don't want that.
Yeah, I mean, that's also indicative of the bad writing. I feel like that's their way of like, all right, have him go out there, cut a vague promo, and we'll figure out who he's going to wrestle later.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, we'll have to see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for today's show. I usually end this with saying my name. I'm Notorious JM, and I usually try to get my partner to say his name. I fucking give it up on that.
Oh, wait, here, I got something to say.
What's that? Nothing?
You didn't hear any of that?
No, heard nothing.
Damn it. I found the Wish You Died in the Womb clip.
Didn't hear anything from that.
Fuck, I'm going to make this work one of these days.
I bid you guys a good day.